On the way he treats conservative guests, as which he rarely has, as opposed to liberals who he slobbers all over. And if he's going to make fun of people's appearance, and people make fun of my appearance, by the way, so be it. I'll do the same thing. They tell me I'm handsome all the time, you know.
How important is it to you that you not travel in these circles? I mean, do you live social Washington at all?
No. I don't sit around thinking what circles am I going to travel in. I've got a family.
But I mean, how important is it that you don't do that? In other words, how much of this town operates on the other level where they all know each other and they're all friends?
Well, I don't like it. You know, I was in the Reagan administration for 8 years. I was Ed Meese's chief of staff. I did work at the White House for a year or so. And, you know, I went to some inauguration events. I've done that, and I went and did things for a president I just truly admired. I'll do it now and then if it's something, if there's some friends there who I really like, but I don't do things to be seen. I mean, I don't know the last time I've been on TV to talk about my book, but this is it. I mean, this has been it for a very, very long time.
What if somebody comes along, as happened to Rush Limbaugh, and he went on TV for a while, but Sean Hannity's been very successful on TV, and says, Mark Levin, we want you to do a show?
Well, people have.
And what did you tell them?
So far, no, but they're still at it, so we'll see. But what I mean is, I don't go on TV to be seen. If somebody wants to put me on TV to speak my piece the way I want to speak my piece and thinks it could be entertaining, I'll think about it, but so far I've turned it down. That's not to say I wouldn't, but so far I haven't.
You have a fan site, a website that's Mark Levin.
My fans have set up a site.
Yeah, what's it called? Mark Levin Fan?
Mark Levin Fan, yeah.
I've got it. It's fan.com.
.com, yeah.
The reason I mentioned it because on there is what Mark says and what Mark means. And if I read some of these names, can you tell me what you say about them?
Let's give it a shot.
Let's try it. What do you call the New York Times?
The New York Slimes.
The Washington Post.
The Washington Compost. I actually stole that from Ollie North.
Chuck Schumer.
Schmucky Schumer.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Stretch Pelosi.
Why do you call her Stretch Pelosi?
Isn't it obvious? Look at her eyes and look at her mouth. That's she's been worked on a few times.
Barbara Boxer.
I think I call her the dwarf senator. By the way, people may not like this, but they're all true. I think she's about 5 feet tall. I can't call her a midget because that's politically incorrect, so I call her a dwarf. Now somebody told me that's politically incorrect.
Dick Durbin.
I call him Little Dick Durbin.
Howard Dean.
Dr. Demento Dean.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Well, I have two for her. I have Hillary Rotten Clinton and Her Thyness. Now, please don't ask me why I call her Her Thyness. I think that's obvious, too.
Bill Clinton.
I call him by his initials, B.J. Clinton.
Ted Kennedy.
You know what? He's ill right now, and I haven't been using the phrase, so I'll hold off on that.
Joe Biden.
Well, I have two for him. I've been calling him plugs for 5 years, and I've been calling him the dumbest man in the Senate, and both of those are accurate, too.
You know, about now, our viewers...
Oh, they're furious, some of them.
Well, they're furious with me, too. I would even ask you this. And they're furious, too, because people that don't agree with you think that this kind of talk is demeaning in the political system.
Well, I think their political views are demeaning. Now, I do have some Republicans, too. You know, we can call in the Republican...
Chuck Hagel.
Schmegel.
Russ Feingold.
Fool's Gold.
John Murtha.
Lardass.
Arlen Specter.
Well, I have a bad one for him, but Arlen Spectacle is the clean one that I use.
Steny Hoyer.
Snippy Hoyer.
Jim Webb.
Melonhead.
Yeah, but does that just feed...
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute.
What have I missed?
What do I call the liberal Republicans? Republicans, I call them.
Mike Huckabee.
Huckaphony.
You didn't like him when he was...
I never liked him.
Why not?
Because I didn't like him bringing up Romney's religion as a tool to try and derail him. I don't like that when anybody does that. He also stayed in the race to cover McCain's flank by drawing evangelical votes away from other more conservative candidates. and he in part is responsible for John McCain's nomination. I don't think he plays fair, and so I don't care for him.
One of the talk show hosts that both the left and the right criticize a lot, and we had Lionel on our program, and he did the same thing, is either Keith Olbermann or Chris Matthews. Does that set you off, either one of those? You have there's a icon on your website about Keith Olbermann. Keith Overbite?
Yeah, we have a whole page on Keith Overbite, Countdown to No Ratings. He's a hack. Now, and I don't watch his show much. I have my producer tape it, so if there's something reasonably entertaining, maybe we can lift it and abuse him the way he abuses other people. I think he's a failed sportscaster. He's screwing up Sunday Night Football, and so he's perfect on MSLSD. Chris Matthews, an old Tip O'Neill guy, and Jimmy Carter speechwriter. I don't know what he is. I mean, is he a news guy? Is he a commentator, or does he come off like a screwball to me, just like Bozo the Clown? So I will take opportunities to review. I'll do the same with Jon Stewart, and I don't let them use their false names. I call them by their real names. Jon Stewart, a.k.a. John Leibowitz, is what his real name is.
Michael Savage.
Yes.
What do you call him?
Wiener Nation. That's his real name.
And I'm sure people have said to you that you sometimes sound like Michael Savage.
No, I hope not.
What's the difference between the two?
If he says something coherent, that means he's copying me. Otherwise, he's fallen off the chair again. What was your question? I'm sorry. What do I think about him?
Yeah.
I think he's a putz. I think he's a Manchurian conservative. I think he is an undisciplined thinker, to the extent he's a thinker at all. And on the other hand, some of his enemies, not all of them, some of them are my enemies and conservative talk radio's enemies. So I am not quick to jump on a bandwagon to have a guy like him silenced or banned, because I don't believe in that either.
How are you closer to what people talk like behind the scenes than what you would call PC media?
I don't know. All I can do is describe me, and from my perspective, talk radio is a very quick-moving medium, and callers are coming and going, and you can't really be sure how they're going to come at you, and you have people recording your show in hopes of finding some slip-up or something they can twist to use against you. We record my show and put it on our website for free, so these left-wing groups need not record it. All they have to do is go on and get it. I say what I believe, and I speak the way I believe, and every now and then I feel like with Letterman, I'm coming to the defense of somebody in John McCain who really can't defend himself against a bully like Letterman, who gets on there night after night making fun of the guy's physical appearance and physical actions. So after a while, 2 or 3 days of that, I'll pop off and deal with it.
6 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a lot of radio stations. They can find you on your own website, and you're, over 150 radio stations around the country?
That's correct, 200.
5.5 million listeners a night or a week?
I don't know what that means, actually. It's 5.5 million a week, I think. All these numbers, I think, are a week.
Mark Levin, we are out of time. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
For a DVD copy of this program, call 1-877-662-7726. For free transcripts or to give us your comments about this program, visit us at qna.org. Q&A programs are also available as C-SPAN podcasts.